Hello everyone and welcome to the Zelda Cast here on Zelda Dungeon.net. My name is Andy Spiteri, joined, as always, by my pal and yours, Allison Aletha. What's up, Al? How we doing today?
We're doing okay. I'm good. My cats might be sick, but we'll figure that out. But otherwise, doing great. You.
That's great. Doing fine. It is Sunday. It is Star Wars Day, and in fact, we did have a conversation about Star Wars before we started the show. Again, actually. So yes,
we keep doing that.
I think that we at this point, like, there is about 15 minutes on this show, 15 minutes on the last show. We have like a little bonus episode that we could just release here for all the. We did get Star Wars requests to do Zelda Star Wars crossover shows, so maybe that's it right there for everybody. Mm-hmm. But yes, it is indeed May the 4th. So live long and prosper, everybody. Hope you are having a great Star Wars day. Yes, so we are back, and we are here to once again talk about The Legend of Zelda. And there's not really it seems like the news has slowed down a little bit after the insane rush at the beginning of April. Like, April was seemed like it was very busy, and now we're kind of in the eye of the storm here. So we're a month away from the Switch 2 launching. And yeah, we're just kind of seeing what's going on now. We're seeing, what everything's going to look like, what everything is going to shape out to be. So yeah, it's kind of a weird in between time here between like all the news, and now it's just like, okay, well, let's just wait and see what's going on. Like what's like another couple weeks to go.
It's kind of nice because those first few days were just so insane that. Like the first few days felt like 4 weeks, and then each week after some more stuff kind of trickled in, and it kind of felt crazy again, and now it's just kind of like calm before the storm or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we made it into the eye of the storm and it's okay, and then we're gonna come back through the storm the other way. I don't know, but like it kind of feels a little nice today to not be like freaking out about what's going on with the Switch 2.
Absolutely, and I would say from what I have seen, it does seem like the pre-order thing kind of did sort itself out. I haven't seen a lot of people saying that they just like haven't been able to get a Switch 2, which is good. So yeah, hopefully everyone that did get a Switch 2 or wanted a Switch 2 was able to get one. By the time you're listening to this too, that's going to be a couple days away from the Nintendo Switch 2 pre-orders launching as well. So if you missed your opportunity, I don't think I would fret yet. You've still got a couple of different avenues in order to get a Switch 2. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I haven't seen a lot of people just like saying, I haven't been able to get one. I think everyone that wants one that I've seen has mostly been able to secure one, which is promising, considering what it potentially was looking like even a month ago.
Yeah, I think like my TikTok is pretty good about being catered to me. So as soon as the Switch 2 was announced, like everybody's reactions were on my TikTok. And then with the subsequent news, that's a big word for Elmo.
Say that 4 times fast.
People would be reacting on my TikTok to it. And then I didn't really see anything on my TikTok about pre-orders. So it must be not as bad as we thought, like people were thinking initially that night, the night that it went live.
Yeah. Well, there you go. So the last couple of weeks we've just been answering fan questions, and it honestly was really nice because the weeks were so busy that it was kind of nice just to have everyone help us out and give us some content for the show. So we kind of actually thought that we would keep that train going today. And we're going to be revisiting a classic favorite topic of ours, which is answering the daily debates of our wonderful writing staff over on ZeldaDungeon.net. And there's a few in here, actually, that I'm like quite anxious to get into. One in particular that caught my mind. But before we get there, I have some shilling to do. So if everyone will indulge me here. I did want to a fun little fact, actually. So 4 years ago, exactly almost to the day, because OmegaMetroid.com launched on the 3rd of May of 2021. And that website, when we launched the website, I made this Omega Metroid Direct video. So it was like a Nintendo Direct style video. And in that video 4 years ago, I teased a one more thing, just like a regular direct would do. And my one more thing that I teased 4 years ago was, oh, you know what? We're going to be working on a competitive multiplayer Metroid Prime Hunters guide. And it's going to be out. It's going to be awesome. It's going to tell you how to play in modern time. You don't need Wi-Fi. And needless to say, 4 years have passed. However, I am very happy to announce that guide is now finally live, including a single-player guide for Metroid Prime Hunters as well, in addition to the multiplayer guide. And I will say, with some confidence here, I believe that this is, if not the most comprehensive multiplayer guides for Metroid Prime Hunters that has ever been written. Ever.
Nice.
And I can't take credit for it, actually, because this guide was the most collaborative guide effort of any guides that we've done at OmegaMetroid.com. I did all the single player guides and some of all of the formatting on the multiplayer guides. Doomino Crossing was instrumental in getting us some screenshots for multiplayer and kind of coordinating our guest writer. But we had Pete Grigsby, aka Spire Fan, who is a big Metroid Prime Hunters fan, the biggest I've ever met. And so we were lucky enough to have him lend us his expertise and just his knowledge and experience writing the Metroid Prime Hunters multiplayer walkthrough. So there's literally detailed strategies for each hunter on each map. There's how you can play in modern day. So like you can set up with either your DS or through emulation with a legally dumped copy of Metroid Prime Hunters. There's control setups, mouse. If you want to play mouse and keyboard, we got you. If you want to play with the controller like I do, we got you. It's all there. Weapon properties, expansion locations, boss strategies. Like this walkthrough is comprehensive, and it took forever to make, actually. So it's probably a good 9 months in the making. So if anyone is feeling nostalgic for the days of old where you'd bust out your Nintendo DS and connect to Wi-Fi and load up and fight with other hunters from around the world, we got you. This walkthrough is live over on OmegaMetroid.com. I hope that people check it out. And, Metroid Prime Hunters isn't like the most renowned Metroid game, and I don't think it ever will be, but it does have some redeeming qualities to it, and I think the multiplayer was something. We did it at the Omega Metroid Marathon, and honestly, it was a blast to play that way. So, hopefully, if people are interested, we might even be hosting some community nights over on Omega, playing some Hunters. So that could be something to look forward to as well. But so that went live yesterday, actually. So yesterday was the day, and it's over on OmegaMetroid.com right now. So check it out.
I love that came out on the anniversary. I think that's really neat, and very good job, you guys. That's awesome.
Yeah, I gotta say, I didn't even piece that together when I sent it live yesterday. It's kind of one of those things where like I was waiting on. So for Doom to get me a couple of last screenshots to really finalize the guide. We could have sent it live without it, but my philosophy is just like, you know what, let's send it live when it's right, when it's done, when it's 100%. Nothing is ever 100%. I had to fix a bunch of stuff afterwards, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So yes, and that was 4 years of OmegaMetroid.com, which is also 8 years of the Nintendo Switch and Breath of the Wild, which is just absolutely mind-blowing to me. Mind-blowing.
I thought it came out in March.
Oh yeah, you know what? You're right. Yeah, you're right. Well, there you go. So it's even older than 8 years then, in fact.
Yeah.
Which makes me feel incredibly old.
But I think that's cool. That's even more funny that you didn't even plan for that to happen. So everything just happens for a reason, and I think that's pretty cool.
That's right. So yeah, OmegaMetroid.com, Metroid Prime Hunters, multiplayer, single player, go crazy. It's there. All right. Well, Al, we do indeed have some daily debates to get through here. A lot of them are centered, of course, on the Switch 2. A lot of them centered on Age of Imprisonment. I have to shout out someone, by the way, and I'm going to find their name right now, but I think it was... I'll just find it, actually, but in the Spotify comments, someone called this Age of Upheaval still, and it just made me smile. So I'm going to find their name and just wanted to shout them out. But yeah, so we'll talk about Age of Upheaval. We'll talk about the Switch 2, and we'll talk about a couple other things as well. So I'm excited to get into this one here, Al, and really get cooking because there's one that I can't wait for actually.
Okay.
Solid Me Boy, by the way, was the one who I wanted to shout out. So
I love it.
so there you go. Okay. Well, let's just get right into it here. Daily debate numero uno from Nick Miller. Is the Wind Waker's Triforce quest really that bad? I think that so to qualify this, okay? We're talking about the GameCube version of the Wind Waker because this is the version that is going on NSO. I'm reading between the lines. I don't know if it explicitly says that, but that's what I'm assuming this question is about.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a hot minute since I've done this on the GameCube. I got to be honest.
Let me just. I feel like the answer to the question is in the reboot of the game. They changed it for the HD version, and I think that's all the answer that you need.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's like it takes way longer. You need a lot more money. You visit Tingle way more often. I mean, that's not a bad thing, except that his siblings are kind of like slaves, which is not great. But like, you just need like 400 rupees for every time he deciphers a chart for you, and that's a lot of money. And I feel like I know the optimal way to get the money for the HD version, and it's still a lot of money that way, but it's not as much as the GameCube. But I think it says a lot that Nintendo was like, yeah, we need some quality of life improvements with this fetch quest.
So actually, we just did a Zelda Cast top 10s episode with one of our great patrons and Discord members named Logan. So we were doing the top 10 businesses in Zelda, and I put Tingle Incorporated at number 1, specifically from Wind Waker because of how like he just like takes you for everything you've got, like just ruthless capitalism from our man. It's pretty bad, yeah. It's pretty bad. Now does it ruin the game? No, it doesn't ruin the game.
A momentum killer.
Like it grinds the momentum to a halt, like to just an absolute grinding halt for sure. And I think it's something that you get to in the original that's just like, oh my god, this is the worst part. It's basically like when you get to Twilight Princess and you have to go and do the opening, you know, which is miserable, or the statues before you get to City in the Sky, which is miserable. So it's, I would even say it's probably worse than the statues actually from Twilight Princess, which is not great.
I would say it's worse than the statues. I would compare it to, and I'm not saying that this part of Skyward Sword is bad. It's just such a long add-on is the Song of the Hero. It just adds so much to the game where I'm just like, I just want to be done with this game. God. Like, you know?
I would respectfully say I think that this is, like, Wind Waker's Triforce Quest is on another tier above. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I would say that it's worse, but...
I think in terms of, like, momentum, like, just grinding to a halt, there's two things that come to mind for me that are as, like, egregious. And the first is, as I mentioned, the opening of Twilight Princess, which is just miserable. It's so bad. And then the other one actually comes from Oracle of Ages when you get to what's the island called where you lose all your stuff? Yes.
Yeah.
I can't believe I can't think of it. Like, oh my god. I am completely dying right now trying to think of this island. Tokay Island. Tokay Island is it? Yes.
Yeah.
Tokay is not okay because that is another one where it's just like the momentum is just like moving backwards somehow instead of forwards. So I think that this is pretty bad. So yes, it's pretty bad. This is what I was looking forward to here, Al. This is from our pal Rod Lloyd. And Rod asks, how satisfied are you with the Nintendo Today app so far? Have you used the Nintendo Today app?
No.
Okay.
No, I haven't.
I'm going to take the floor here, if I may.
Okay.
Do you remember, I caught some flack from people when that Nintendo Direct, the one before the Switch 2 one, the like Nintendo Switch 1 direct aired, and I was like, that's one of the worst Nintendo directs I've ever seen. And people were like, oh my god, don't be so ridiculous, you're being hyperbolic, like, and I stand by that. I'm like, that direct for me had two games. It had Metroid Prime 4, it had Pokemon Legends, and like they were just like thrown willy-nilly in the middle. And the one more thing for that direct was this Nintendo Today app, right? And that was like the main event announcement. That's what it closed with. And I think this app is horrible. I think it's horrible. Like what is the point of it? Like so I see all the time on Twitter, it's just like people will post like, oh, they posted like a new Metroid story or new Metroid history or something like that. And I go open my app, I'm like, great, I want to check this out. I can't see it. I can't search it. I have Metroid as my only game. I unselected all of my other games, and Metroid was my only game, and it still doesn't come up. You can't go back and find anything. It's like, this is just like I think it's like the worst app. Like, what is the point of this? Like, yes, like there are some news updates that come out, but like, I mean, you've got a calendar at the top. Like, okay, you've got I don't like. I just like, what is the point of this app? Like, I really don't know. Like, it's just got a bunch of junk on there. It's got news. You can only see browsing history of things that you've like actually clicked on. It's just like, I think that this app is just like horrendous. Like it's terrible.
I think it just says a lot that I haven't even opened it since that day, or the day that I think it was the Zelda movie was announced. What was that, March 7th?
I don't know.
Or is
something
that
like
when the movie's coming out? Something like that. Anyways, I haven't touched it since then, and part of me was like, oh, I wonder if they're gonna like shadow drop news every now and again on this app like they did with the movie.
Nope.
Nothing. I haven't seen anything because like I feel like I would see it from our social media, like on Blue Sky, on TikTok or whatever, from Zelda Dungeon social media. I haven't seen anything. So
like I think the idea, or maybe this wasn't the idea, but in my head the idea should have been, and I might age myself here, Al, a little bit, but back in 2008, okay, when Super Smash Bros. Brawl was coming out, they had the SmashBros.com website, and every day at like 5 o'clock, I was so hyped because they would post one new update per day, and that update was like, here's a new item, here's a new stage, here's a new musical track, here's a new whatever, and sometimes it would even be like, here's a new playable character. That's how they introduced Sonic, actually. Not with like a fancy video, but like Sonic was just on the website, and so like that was like must see or must be there at the day of to see like what the latest Smash Bros news was going to be. And anybody of a certain vintage like I am is going to know exactly what I'm talking about. That was what I thought that this app would be. It's like, okay, like one day, like here's a new upcoming feature from Donkey Kong Bonanza, or here's a new upcoming feature from Mario, and maybe it is because like right now it's just like, oh, baby Rosalina is on the page today, and apparently that's news, but I think that was already announced, and it's just like a bunch of screenshots, and it, like, I just keep coming back to like, what is this app for? Like, what is the point of this app? I have no idea. I still have no idea.
Same here. I don't use it. It's just not very engaging to me. Like, even the like 2 days that I've used it, I just didn't feel. I was like, oh, okay, Zelda movie news. What else is there? And then, yeah, the like slider is kind of weird, and then like clicking stuff was awkward. Yeah, I don't know. There wasn't a lot that interested me that I wanted to keep opening it.
Well, and like the thing is as long as Nintendo posts on like Twitter or Facebook or YouTube or whatever, like, this app is completely irrelevant. Like, if this app was the only place that you could get your Nintendo news, like, okay, you know what, like, I guess. But, I mean, that seems like a terrible business decision. And then, two, like, you're undercutting the app by still having all of your stuff elsewhere. So, I mean, I don't know. I think this app is, like, it is not good. It is not good. I even think like the Nintendo Music app is cool. I think like some of the other Nintendo apps that they've made are fine, but this app, I just like I struggle to justify its reason for existence.
I feel bad. I just am not very. I don't know if like I don't care is the right way to phrase it, but like social media, Twitter, Facebook,
Well, like,
these
why would
apps
you
that
care about
Nintendo
this app?
these apps that Nintendo's made, the music app. I don't know. I just don't care.
Well,
They
okay,
need to
okay.
care.
Here we go. On page number 1. Oh, I've got a calendar. I've got Zelda there. Like, great. It's May the 4th? Oh, I forgot. Great. Here's Baby Rosalina. Awesome. Let's see. Oh, how to play Soul Calibur 2, a 20-plus-year-old game. That's great. And then
Listen, I was good at Soul Calibur 2. I don't need any tips.
I was pretty decent as well. It's just like there's just like a lot of junk on here, and I don't know. It's just like what is the purpose of this app? I have no idea. Let's move on. Daily debate. Will Link be a playable character in Age of Imprisonment? This is from Leslie Jacobson. We've answered a couple different varieties of this question over the last 2 weeks here. I think that there will be a Link-esque type of player. Maybe it won't be Link himself, but I'm pretty firm here, Al, that it is in fact going to be the heroes aspect. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to say absolutely not. Just to answer the question, no, I don't think Link is going to be a playable character. Unless they do some kind of like, here's some stuff that's happening in the present while Zelda's doing some stuff in the past. But if they bring him back to the past, I will...
That'd be cheap.
I think I said last time that I would only play this game out of spite because I have to for the podcast. Like, that's literally how that situation would go.
That would feel pretty cheap, I think, if they did that. Yeah.
My hope is absolutely not.
All right, Shakel, do you prefer the Wind Waker or the Wind Waker HD? Come on.
I don't know if we have to answer that.
Is there anybody that can like legitimately say like I prefer playing the original Wind Waker?
Is there anybody in the comments who says that of that post?
I don't know. This is it's got 50 comments actually, so
wow.
Maybe we should look in here. But I mean like you know we do have some people that say that they prefer playing the original Wind Waker. I can't speak about player experience tonight since I never played the HD version because HD rendering. So I guess they say they prefer the original over the HD version, but they've never played the HD version. So
yeah, what does that mean because of HD rendering? Like, what's wrong with that?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Isn't that the point of HD?
I guess. Like I don't know. Like I just. As an example, like Ocarina of Time is my absolute favorite game of all time. But like, I mean, come on, like if I'm gonna play that game, I'm playing the 3D version because it has so many quality of life upgrades and improvements. Like there is times where it's fun to play the original game on the original console, like for sure, and that could be a great experience. But like in the context of playing like Wind Waker on the Switch. Like no, like I want the HD version, you know, or I'd prefer the HD version.
Yeah, I think. Oh God, what was it last year? I think I played on the Wii U. Awful Nintendo 64 version. Not saying the Nintendo 64 version is awful. I'm saying having Nintendo 64 version on the Wii U was an awful experience. However, I look over at Goo, who's playing on this old Cube TV on the N64, and it looked like, and he had like a blanket too. He looked like a kid straight out of the 90s. And I was like, this looks like a blast. And I love the visuals of the original. Like, I just think like, yes, I prefer to play the 3D version because it does look better and have like some quality of life improvements. But there's just so much nostalgia, and you like look at that game and you're like, this is still so timeless, even though it like has all the pixels and stuff like that. So
yeah.
But I don't get that feeling from Wind Waker. I prefer the HD version. Wind Waker and A Link Between Worlds were the two Zelda games that got me back into the Zelda series back in 2013. And I shouldn't say back into the Zelda series, back into the Zelda like community, and that's how I joined ZD. So I prefer the HD version.
There are some people in here that are saying that they prefer the original version because like maybe the visuals are different. I can't say that I've ever noticed that, but maybe maybe we'll take a comparison when the Switch 2 comes out and we'll see. But I just like, for me, it's like in every conceivable possible way, like I think the HD version is an improvement. So all right, next up is from Jared, and Jared asks, Is an Oracle's playthrough fundamentally incomplete without beating Ganon? I don't think so.
No,
No, I think you could
I
still play
didn't.
them.
I didn't do the combined and beat Ganon. So, and I thought it was a fun experience. This was a few years ago when we did our coverage on it.
You didn't beat Ganon, really? Oh, I beat
I
Ganon.
don't think so. No, I didn't do the combined thing,
Really?
which that's how you fight Ganon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't do that, and I thought it was fine.
I mean, and you're right. Like, it is fine.
Yeah.
I did actually, and I beat Ganon. It's a great bonus to have, but the only problem with that is like typically if you're going to do that, you got to play them back to back, which can be that could be a long experience. Like that's 16 plus dungeons. Yeah, that's a lot.
So 16.
And as we talked about, Tokay Island really kind of puts your mettle to the test.
I would say Tokay Island and the last two dungeons of both, like especially Sword and Shield dungeon was just such a slog for me. Even though it was a good dungeon, I just remember I was just like I was so over it.
Yeah. I mean, I love Sword and Shield Dungeon, but yes, it's a long 2D dungeon. Ancient Tomb from Oracles is just like, or Ancient Tomb or Ancient Crypt is just like a ginormous dungeon as well. But no, I think I think both of them are like complete experiences that you can have like by themselves. I think that's totally fine. It does. I feel like it does add a little bit if you're fighting Twin Rova and you're fighting Ganon, but I think both of them can be certainly like enjoyed independently of each other.
That's kind of like what we were saying before the show started, and we were talking about Revenge of the Sith, and like I had all the bonus content from Clone Wars, whereas you still had a complete experience with Revenge of the Sith, but I had bonus content for Revenge of the Sith because of my experience with Clone Wars. So it's just kind of like that.
Yeah, I
You
think so.
don't have to have one or the other to have a complete experience with the whatever it is.
Yeah, does it maximize your enjoyment a little bit more?
Yes.
Maybe, yeah, it might. Or there's sometimes too where you're just like, man, I beat the final boss, great. Oh, there's two more final bosses. What? And maybe that's not the way that some players want to do that either. So I think it's certainly a game that you could just beat and you can take on Vera and you could take on Onyx and you're good. All right, this is from Heather. What Zelda game will always be timeless to you? Which one, Al?
Well, I feel like a lot of these questions are just too easy, and like
Yes.
anybody who's listening can answer them for us.
Okay, you're not allowed to pick Ocarina of Time. What's your other answer?
Okay. Probably Breath of the Wild. I think that Breath of the Wild will just age gracefully forever.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Yeah.
I was about to say Majora's Mask is one.
I think that's fair.
I mean, to be honest, like I can't think of a lot of Zelda games that aren't like fun to go back and play. Like I think you could make a case for A Link to the Past. I think you could make a case for Link's Awakening.
That's very timeless. Yeah.
I think that you could, like any of the bigger 3D games. I think that you could certainly make an argument for, especially with their HD like ports. But maybe for this context, we'll just talk about the originals here. Like Minish Cap is one that just looks like 10 out of 10 great and plays great still. Yeah, I mean I think you could, like that's the Zelda series strength, like why it's so enduring is because like all of these games are so solid and like all of these games can be enjoyed in the year that they came out, 10 years after, 20 years after, like we're playing Legend of Zelda like NES 40 years after, and like the game's a blast. So
it's so much fun. I'm so happy that I jumped back into that last year because I forgot how fun that game was.
So it's probably cheating to say all of them, but I mean, my God, it's darn near all of them. Probably Adventure of Link is at the top of your list, Al.
Yeah, it's like definitely number one on my list. I like froze. My brain just like put up a wall and was like, "You can absolutely not say anything nice."
There was a very nice.
I tried.
There's a very nice editorial actually that was published a couple of days ago on ZeldaDungeon.net. That was just like, you know what the biggest legacy of Adventure of Link is the temple stage in Smash Bros. And that's probably not wrong.
I want to say like the music, yeah, like especially the temple song, like it, and I think it does have a legacy. It's just kind of an unfortunate, maybe it's not so unfortunate, like bad press is still good press, right? It's the black sheep of the Zelda series, and people still talk about it to this day. It's not like it's just, gone off in obscurity. Like, it's still relevant.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, good art, good editorial. People should check that out. But because I think I think many people would say that Temple is the best Smash Bros. Stage. Like,
that's the one my brothers
ever.
and I would always play in Melee.
Yeah,
it was so much fun. Yeah.
So, Adventure of Link endures, timeless. Okay, this is from Brandon. And Brandon asks, which character are you most excited to potentially play as in Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment? Good question.
I think we answered that in our Q&A, right?
I think we did. And if we didn't, I hope my answer is the same. But I feel like it's Rauru for me. Like I feel like that is the one.
We did like our 3, like we ranked them.
That's right, because they gave us Impa, Rauru, and Zelda. That's right.
Not Impa, Minoru.
Minoru. Yes, you're right. I'm sorry. Well, I mean, of any character though. Now we have the whole field to pick from now.
Yeah. I would still say Rauru is my number 1.
Yeah.
My number 2 and your like our 2s and 3s are separate. So like I said Zelda Minoru, you said Minoru Zelda. Yeah. So that makes sense.
The thing is like, we have no idea who's a playable character in this game. Like, there's, like, it's not like the first Hyrule Warriors where you can just pick any character from any game.
Yeah.
Because, like, this is going to be specific to a point in time, we think. And it's not really like Age of Calamity either, where you can, like, at least know, like, a couple of your characters that you're going to play as. I will say this. I'm really, really intrigued to see who the 4 sages are. There's something telling me, Al, that like they've got to be someone. They've got to be someone we know. I think that's just like, I think it's a tall order to introduce like all these new playable characters in one game. And maybe I'm wrong. I mean, maybe that's exactly what they'll do.
It would have been less of a tall order if we got more information about them from Tears of the Kingdom instead of the same cutscene for all of them saying the exact same thing.
Amen, brother. Amen to that. All right. Well, let's move on here. This is a good question. This is from Nick Miller. How could camera play be creatively incorporated into a Zelda game? I have no doubt that like the next Zelda game is gonna have something like this. I could see, you know how like you could take the like your selfies and stuff like that with Breath of the Wild. I could totally see that where like they do something along those lines. Maybe it's like an AR type of thing where like you have your camera and there's like a Lionel sitting beside you, kind of like Pokemon Go or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be fun. I think so. Sometimes I play these like Zelda music and ambiance videos, and I don't know how people do this. I don't know if it's like a hack or what, but like they'll have like these really big sweeping scapes of like the landscape and all that kind of stuff, kind of like Nintendo does in their trailers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how do they get their camera angles to do that? Like, is that like a hack or something that they're doing? Because, and maybe I'm thinking too much into this, but does anybody know what I'm talking about? Where you can't really go that far from Link's perspective, you know? So, like, how do they do that? If we could do more of that, that would be really cool in the next Zelda game, so that we can make like cool music videos or like some cool ambiance things, or zoom out and just like have it as background for a little bit or something.
Bring back the AMV, like AMVs, set to Evanescence and
set to 3 Days Grace or something.
Yeah, not 3 days. 3 Days Grace stinks. I'll put my foot down right now. No, I don't like 3 Days Grace.
You didn't like them like before they had all their, artist changes?
No,
I
never.
Growing up. They were part of my emo phase.
No, I never liked. One of my best friends like loved 3 Days Grace, and I was like, dude, these guys suck. And I think I even liked him less because like he liked him so much,
Oh my god, you're like Corey. You're just like out of spite. I'm just gonna.
Well, no, it wasn't. I wasn't out of spite. I actually think they suck, and I'm sure that they are a nice group of guys. Maybe actually, I have no idea, but.
I haven't really like followed their like music since they've had all the changes, like the change of the singer and all that kind of stuff. But like back in the day, back in the early 2000s, they were definitely my jam. So
I actually don't know a thing about 3 Days Grace. I just know that I don't like their hits on the radio.
That's okay.
You know who I will stick up for, Al? Being an Alberta boy here, I'm gonna stick up for Nickelback.
Yeah, I love Nickelback.
Yeah, Nickelback is
never understood the hate.
They get a lot of hate, by God.
They were like,
I don't
thanks
think
for
they deserve
selling our
it.
music anyways, like, you know.
Yeah, whatever. They're like multi-millionaires. They're like, we don't care if people hate us. Like,
Yeah, they don't give
you're gonna
any
sing
flying ass
Rockstar if
about
you
it.
hear it on the radio. Come on.
I love it.
All right, this is from Sean. Which series outside of the Zelda series made the best transition from 2D to 3D? Oh.
Wait, can you read that?
Yes. So, which series? So video game series. So like Mario, Pokemon. I guess Pokemon doesn't really count, but like, that kind of ilk. Sonic made the best transition from being a 2D game to a 3D game. I will
Outside of Zelda.
outside of Zelda. So this is low hanging fruit for me here, but I mean, hard not to say Metroid. You know, like going from 2D Metroid to Metroid Prime, like it created. I'm not going to say actually it created like the first person adventure genre, but it certainly I think popularized it like a lot. Where because like traditionally like first person shooter games were like level based, there was weapons and ammo and like it was basically like GoldenEye. Where this one was not, and I think around the same time like you were kind of getting like games like Elder Scrolls like not I think Morrowind was the third game at the time that was pretty kind of on that same path as well. So Metroid definitely comes to mind. I would say Metal Gear Solid is one. Yeah, like Metal Gear Solid I think is like the original games and the Metal Gear Solid games are like light years apart, and I think the 3D games are just incredible.
I don't know if I like have anything specific besides like Mario, because I don't really venture out into different things, but like maybe as a whole, not like a specific series, but like as a whole the JRPG has really like improved from 2D to 3D, because like I think back to Legend of Dragoon, and it's literally like you're just like this pasted character on this backdrop, and you're kind of just like walking these specific paths, and you like encounter the bad guys and you fight them and stuff. But now you like have open worlds where you can like do your JRPG thing. So I would say that maybe the best improvement outside of Zelda, or the best translation, would probably be those types of games for me. But yeah.
I would have, I think I would have singled out Final Fantasy, like, particularly, I mean, going from Final Fantasy VI, particularly, like, the way that Final Fantasy VII presented itself, like, with its completely modernized, cyberpunk almost aesthetic. I think that was one of the greatest jumps from 2D to 3D. I mean, you nailed it, of course, like, Mario 64. Like, what are we talking about? That's one of the most important and influential games ever made. So that was a big one. I mean, I would still say, I think if anything, Zelda did it best.
Yeah.
That I do believe. Like, I think Ocarina of Time was just like so important and so just like the way that Ocarina of Time did that is just like that game did things that like instantly other games immediately copied. Like immediately copied. I got one more that I would throw out there as well, and I would say that would be, I'd say that would be like a game like Mario Kart. Like I think 2D was like okay, but I think like 3D Mario Kart really kind of stepped it up a little bit for me. So yeah, I would say that one. I will say this: I think Sonic the Hedgehog has never gotten to a point, like I don't think that it's ever quite gotten to a point where like the 3D games are like. Not that they're not any good, but like 2D is where Sonic shines, and it's never been comfortable in 3D. I certainly haven't played all the 3D Sonic games, so like that's one I think that struggled for sure.
I can't really speak for the Sonic games. I don't think I've played a Sonic game since like the first two, let alone a 3D one. It's hard to say for me, but I think like there's a Sonic game that looks pretty solid in 3D, isn't there? Or not a Sonic, Shadow. There's a Shadow game, isn't there?
There is a Shadow game. I don't think it looks particularly solid, but I mean, I
don't know as far as like moving into the 3D world, but I haven't played it, so I don't know specifically. Yeah, hard for me to say about Sonic. And then I tried to think of like all these other games that I played as a kid, but they were already like 3D technically, like Spyro, Jak and Daxter. Those were already in the 3D scapes. They weren't 2D. So, yeah.
I got one more I want to shout out here, Al, before we move on. and
Okay.
that is Castlevania, because I think that Castlevania had kind of a rough go on the N64. However, I think it really recovered in 3D on the PlayStation 2, because there are like some really cool 3D like Metroidvania Castlevania games on PlayStation 2, Lament of Innocence and Curse of Darkness. Both of those games are awesome, actually. So that's one I can't say that it would ever be the best transition, but one that I just wanted to shout out because I think it was done pretty well.
Okay, nice.
So there you go. Do you watch Castlevania on Netflix, by the way?
I've seen the first 2 episodes of the original, not the next one,
Yeah.
but I'm very interested. I just have to finish it.
It's so good. It's
There's
so good.
I really struggle with shows right now because there's just so much to watch, and I'm like, I get overwhelmed because I'm the same with Arcane. I have to finish Arcane too, and then I have to finish Andor, and then more Star Wars stuff came out today, so I have to finish that, and then The Last of Us is out right now, so I have to watch The Last of Us. It's just I'm really struggling.
You know what I do? I'm just like, this other stuff, whatever. I'm gonna get to it when I get to it, and
Uh-huh.
and then stuff like The Last of Us too. It's just like when it's done and it's all out, I'm gonna take a weekend, in a couple months, and I'm gonna watch it, and it's gonna be great.
Need a weekend. You're gonna need it.
All right, let's keep going here. Our next question is from John. I think we kind of answered a version of this last week, but just really quickly, will we see Terrico in Hyrule Warriors: Age of Imprisonment? I don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
They're they kind of really just shoved all the Sheikah technology into a closet for Tears of the Kingdom. I just don't see that them bringing any of it back.
I wouldn't say it's impossible. I wouldn't say that, but like, especially if they want to build
time warps everybody back.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, if you kind of want to have like the Age of blank games have their own special continuity, I wouldn't say that that's impossible. But because I can't remember, was Terrico shown in the first trailer for Age of Calamity, or was it the second one? I think it was the second one, right?
I want to say it was the second one.
I think so.
Because I remember we were so excited about BBG, Baby Guardian.
Baby Guardian. Oh,
yeah.
BBG. All right, well, let's keep on moving here. And speaking of, actually, this is from our pal Kristen Rosario. What are your early predictions for a potential summer Nintendo Direct? Well, here's what I would say for sure. We will get a firm release date for a couple of games, including Metroid Prime 4, including Pokemon Legends, and I would say probably Age of Imprisonment. I think we'll get release dates for those games for sure. I don't know. Like, I think we're kind of set for the rest of the year because, like, we've got Mario Kart coming out. We've got at some point in November, December, whatever. We have Metroid. We have Pokemon Legends. Maybe and we have Donkey Kong, of course. Maybe there's an August game that could be coming out. Maybe. I would say we'll probably get another couple of GameCube games added to NSO.
Yeah, for sure. I think so as well. I think it's going to be a pretty tame direct.
Yeah.
In that, sure, we'll get some like date announcements, but I don't think we're going to get anything crazy announced until like winter for their 2026 lineup. So I think it's going to be about stuff we already know.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. And I actually think, like, and typically the September Direct is kind of more of the sleepier Direct of the two. But I think that one will be a little bit more exciting because and then at that point you're announcing like new games for January, February, March, etc. So.
I mean, I'll be real honest. I had my expectations last June so low because I was like, they're not going to talk about anything I care about. And then it wound up being like a really cool Direct, really solid. And they announced Echoes of Wisdom and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it was like they could still blow us away. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. Like, I feel like I'm going into this like probably like expecting like just more information and like confirmation about when these games are releasing for games that we already know about, rather than like a whole bunch of whole new releases and stuff like that. And you know what? To be honest, I think that's fine. Because like imagine in a typical like cycle, let's just call it, like you wouldn't have had that April 2nd Direct, so most of these titles would have been in this June Direct. And that's assuming that we get a June Direct. Also,
that's true. Also, yeah, I'm sure we will. I have a feeling we will.
I mean, I think we will as well, and I think there will be new game announcements for sure, but maybe not like I don't think you're going to see your new Zelda game announced there. I don't think you're going to see your new Animal Crossing or Splatoon or whatever.
Hmm.
I could see maybe some more ports and stuff being confirmed though, and some more like Switch 2 edition upgrades for specific games. That I could see.
Hmm. Yep, that makes sense.
Okay, let's keep going here. This next one again is from Jared. When will we see the next Zelda GameCube game on Nintendo Classics?
Probably. I'm thinking early fall for at least Twilight Princess.
Did they change the name of? Apparently, they've changed the name of Nintendo Switch Online to Nintendo Classics.
Oh,
I guess they have. Yeah, there you go.
does that just mean like it's still Nintendo Switch Online because there's other stuff involved, but like the virtual console part is called Nintendo Classics?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Cool. I like it.
Hey, there you go.
Hmm.
When will we see the next Zelda game on Nintendo Classics? That is a good question. That's a good question. There's not really that many to choose from, to be honest. So, like,
Hmm.
I have to imagine Twilight Princess is coming next.
Yeah, I want to say early fall for Twilight Princess. I don't think we're gonna have to wait very long for it. It would be so cool to see, like, not that we need it because we literally already have all these games on the NSO, but it would be kind of cool to see like the Zelda's Collector's Edition, because that like the menu was really cool. They had like a little movie trailer thing in it that was pretty cool. They
You
had
know
the
what? You're
Wind Waker
right.
demo, which was fun. Like that would be kind of fun to have that game put on the GameCube Virtual Console.
You're right. I didn't think about that, but yeah, you could play Ocarina of Time Master Mode on there. Like that would be pretty cool.
Oh, I don't remember
Or
that being
Master
on there,
Quest. I'm
but
sorry.
yeah, Master Quest. I didn't remember that being on there, but yeah.
It was
Like I said though,
the
like
pre-order bonus for Wind Waker actually. So you had Ocarina of
oh,
Time and I believe this was the first time that Master Quest had ever been released at that point.
okay. I don't know if we had that then. We had like the combo that came with the GameCube, where it
With
came with
Majora's
the Zelda.
Mask.
It had no. It was the collector's edition. It had Ocarina, Majora's Mask, Zelda 1 and 2, and the
Yeah.
demo for Wind Waker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So there was an Ocarina of Time edition release. I had that actually, which is incredible. And I played Master Quest, and I was like, oh my god, this is awesome. I mean like if Twilight Princess like whatever. I'm actually not expecting that for like a while.
Oh, I was expecting it pretty soon.
I don't think
I don't think
so.
we would hold out. Like, why? Why hold out?
Why rush? I guess is the you know.
Yeah, but what would be the rush? A few months? That doesn't feel like a rush to me.
Well, I mean like how long did it take for Majora's Mask to get put on NSO?
Oh, I don't know. I wasn't paying attention.
It took a while.
Why are you
Um,
asking me questions I don't pay attention to?
I gotta make sure that you're I gotta make sure you're sharp here, Al. Um, no, I would say like I don't think there's a rush to put Twilight Princess on. I mean the game I think that everybody is really kind of gunning for is Four Swords Adventures. Like
Oh my
that's what we need.
God.
And to be honest with you, I would actually be like just like totally fine if they just like if they sold it to me as like a new game, I'd be like, okay, cool.
Yeah, I would. That would be so exciting if they finally did that.
Yes. So here's hoping. So the answer to the question is like I think it'll be a ways away, is my
Hmm.
guess. Let's do another one from Leslie here. Should the Zelda movie acknowledge the real world?
No.
I don't
Are
even
we talking about how
understand
like
the
Mario was in
question.
the real world? Mario was in the real world, and then he went to the Mushroom Kingdom.
Uh, okay. I see. So actually the reason behind this question is a pretty cool movie that we've covered for virtual theater. Dragon Quest Your Story, which
Oh.
doesn't seem very good when you look at it, but it had kind of a cool twist at the end, which I actually thought, as like someone who's not a big Dragon Quest guy, it was pretty neat. And it did acknowledge the real world, but I mean the answer is no. Like
Yeah,
no.
I
That
agree.
would be like I just like if I can just say like if I were in charge of one thing on this movie, like one thing, I'd just be like, the thing that we have to do is treat this seriously.
Yeah. Take
Okay?
it serious.
Like take it seriously. Like now that doesn't mean it has to be like a completely somber affair. It doesn't mean that you can't have moments of levity, moments of fun. But like
Hmm.
I swear to God, like somebody posted like a meme in the Zelda Cast channel about what the Zelda movie could be like if it was made by like Marvel or something like that. Stall for me here, Al. I'm actually gonna try and find it because this would be basically my
Oh,
worst
I've
nightmare.
seen it. I've seen it, and I wanted to. I didn't comment at the time, but I was gonna say you guys act like the Zelda cartoon didn't make all these same jokes. Like I get
There's a
the I
big
get
difference between the Zelda cartoon and this movie, though. I think is fair to say.
Okay. Okay. But I would agree with you that they're like, yeah, there's so I want to compare this to Andor. Andor is like a very serious show. Like it's got like some really serious dark tones, but they like especially in the second season, there's been some like really hysterical, funny moments. Like the first episode of season 2, like the first 5 minutes were like super serious, and then all of a sudden something hilarious happened, and I was dying. I was laughing so hard. I was like, oh my God, this is so funny. And I think that you could totally have that in a Zelda movie. Have the serious, but still have something so hysterical happen.
Like Zelda is a funny series. Like there's funny things that happen in
There
the
is a lot of
context of the
funny
world. But
ish
like
that happens in it.
you could keep it like that. So I found this comic. I'm my God. So like I'm actually just gonna read this because I think everyone deserves to hear this because it is so
Oh my
funny.
God.
Lenny Link Protagonasi was just your average rural high school student, but his world was about to change. And this is a clip of his old uncle. Sorry, Lenny, all we had left for music class is his old ocarina that was discovered in a chest buried below the school, which we all know was built over ancient ruins of unknown origin. And Tom Holland, as Link says, great, how am I supposed to TikTok with this? But now he's about to find out that being a hero ain't so easy. Whoa, is this going to be on the test? Shouts out Tom Holland Link as he looks into the vastness of Hyrule Castle. My worst nightmares continue here, where he'll meet new friends. I'm Zelda. My dad, the king, has been sent to me on a marketable creature called Navi to train you in our ways to defeat the evil Ganon. And she calls Link Prince. I don't know. I'm not doing this comic justice, but it's just like it is so terrible. And that would be my worst nightmare.
Say like I swear to God, some of the vibes from the jokes are like in the cartoon. So it's just like.
But nobody is campaigning for what is in the cartoon to be in the movie. Nobody is.
Thank God.
Like that would if this was the same tone as the cartoon, that would be horrible too.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be bad. Yeah, I want it to be taken seriously as a good, like, solid fantasy that has some serious moments, good character, good world building, some good fun moments too, like some crazy crap happens, and
yeah.
I don't know, like, just who knows? I just want it to be a good, solid movie. There's nothing wrong with that.
Like we were just talking about Castlevania on Netflix, and like Castlevania has some really funny moments in it. Like there's some really good stuff, and like kind of banter between like sarcastic banter and stuff. But like it's grounded, it's serious, it takes the material seriously, and it takes what it's doing seriously. Like that's one of my complaints is like the style of humor that Spider-Man and Deadpool use works for them. Like I think it works really well for them. But like when everybody does it, it's like, man, this sucks. And that's been a thing for the last, like 15 years now. So I hope that this movie doesn't go like that. What?
I know we were talking about Marvel and like kind of crapping on Marvel, but I've heard really good things about Thunderbolts, which just came out this weekend. I'm really excited to watch it. Like how it kind of talks about like serious stuff like mental health and all that kind of stuff, but it's also just a bunch of misfits thrown together, so I'm sure there's like hysterical moments in there. But I've heard it's really good, like compared to current MCU projects. So
I have to be honest with you, I don't even know what the hell Thunderbolts is.
It has to do with like Bucky and Yelena and the Red Guardian and all those characters.
So Lo-Fi just said in our chat, Spider-Verse balances humor and seriousness well. Yes, perfect example. I just looked by it. So Thunderbird, am I right in saying that Thunderbirds is like a knockoff of the Suicide Squad?
Thunderbolts, kind of.
Thunderbolts,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
Maybe not like the same concept, but kind of like they take the people, the bad people, the misfits that aren't like the heroes, and put them in a group together.
Kind of like the Suicide Squad.
The Suicide Squad, they take a bunch of bad guys and villains and put them in a suicide mission together, and they're like, if you don't do what we tell you, we're gonna blow you up. Like it's not.
That's pretty close. It's pretty darn close. Here's a tangent, but man, so we actually we saw a poster for Thunderbolts, and I have to admit I didn't recognize it was an MCU movie right away because we just like walked by it. Is it Thunderbolts or some Thunderbirds? I sound like a huge idiot here.
Pretty sure it's Thunderbolts.
Okay,
but you're making me second guess my life.
Oh, okay. So we saw it for Thunderbolts, and like I feel like the problem with Marvel now is just like there's so much content that like it feels like you can't just jump in anymore to like Thunder. It's like if I haven't seen an MCU movie since Spider-Man, which came out after Endgame, like do I know what the hell is going on? Like
Probably not.
No, like that's like
they talk about that, and like people who do reviews, they're like, yeah, you have to do so much homework for this this universe.
Yeah, in I kind of almost feel the same about Star Wars, actually, speaking of May the 4th, to a lesser extent. Very lesser extent. But anyways, let's keep going here. This next one is from... Actually, you know what? We're going to skip that one, because we've tread that ground a couple of different times. Let's actually stick with the movie theme here, Al. What fantasy films or series should the team behind the upcoming Zelda movie draw influence from or look to for inspiration? This is from Sean, and he has a great feature image, which is from The Princess Bride, which I feel like is probably a pretty good place to start.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one.
I mean, I think the low hanging fruit answer is like take it from Lord of the Rings, right?
Yeah, I want to say anything that has any kind of like not as much CGI, more costume, more prosthetics. So they've been doing that for The Last of Us, and they've been doing fantastic. Like all the zombies that they've created are all prosthetic and costume and makeup instead of CGI. And I'm like, I wish we could just keep moving back in that direction, because it's so amazing. It gives people so many jobs. It just like looks so different than like you can tell it's fake from the computer. So I want to say like Lord of the Rings. Before The Hobbit is more CGI than the costumes, but like Lord of the Rings, Last of Us, stuff like that. Let me
throw out the Chronicles of Narnia. I thought in terms of like of tone, like that's probably closer to Zelda than Lord of the Rings is actually. And I didn't know anything about the books. But I remember watching the Chronicles of Narnia. It came out like 2005 or something like that, and I thought it was like a really solid fantasy movie. Like for what it was. And if the Zelda movie could meet that, I think that that's a success.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, I would throw that out there. And then just like I think that you take inspiration from other like adaptations that have been done well. You said The Last of Us. I think that's a really good one. Like obviously like they don't really have anything in common, but like the way that show conducts itself and takes its material seriously, like that's a great example to follow.
Yeah. While still having hilarious moments. Lo-Fi in the comments mentions Dark Crystal. Love Dark Crystal. That's a solid take for something Zelda with like the creatures that are in Zelda and stuff like that.
I have to say I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this. I'm not like the biggest fan of the puppets. If I am speaking my truth. It certainly gives it a look unlike anything else. I will say that.
I want to say the people who worked on the Yoda puppet worked on the Dark Crystal puppets.
I think you're right.
Vice versa.
Yeah. I think you're right. I don't know, just like and you know what, I'll throw out another comparison as well, and I think that you could kind of pick and choose it, but like the Dark Knight is a good one, because like the Dark Knight does a good job of like kind of taking existing and like again like almost every successful comic book movie does this to an extent, but like the Dark Knight takes a very expansive like story in The Long Halloween and a couple of other like Batman stories as well, kind of takes the best parts of it that'll work for the big screen and then makes it into like its own kind of thing, which you could tell is like inspired by certain story moments and stuff like that. So I think that that's like another good thing to do as well for this movie, which I'm sure like we don't need to be telling Wes Ball this. I'm sure he's way ahead of us there, but yes,
I hope so.
All right, let's go over. What a great question to Josh. Would you want to see a Pikmin-style Zelda spin-off featuring the Minish or the Picori? That would be so great.
Yeah, I love that. Not that I played Pikmin, but I could visualize it,
You've never played Pikmin? Oh my god, dude.
No.
I think you'd actually like love it. I really do.
I think you told me, because I asked you, I was like, do I have to play any to play 4? And you said no. So I think I want to play 4.
You should. Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah. 3 is also like a blast. Now, the only problem with this, though, is that the Pikmin are kind of like a hive mind here, where the Minish are not. So
well, I feel like that would lead to more chaos, and I love that idea.
Well, I don't know. Like, can you imagine 100 like little Minish running around, none of them doing what you're saying?
I can imagine them with like all these different like like maybe some sewer minish with like a giant needle and a thimble over their head and just like running off, or some with like, I don't know, just how they have all those tiny things in their house, or like things
Yes.
that look ginormous. And I just can imagine them all running off in different directions with these ginormous things, but like that they're tiny to humans but huge to them. That'd just be so cute.
You have to play Pikmin. You would love Pikmin, Al. Like that's literally what they do. They take like there's actually like you could take a copy of Wave Race Blue Storm on the GameCube and you're taking it to your ship to like beam it up. It's like it's incredibly adorable and it's fun. It's really fun.
Yeah.
All right, let's do a couple more and then we'll get out of here, Al, and we'll go to Brandon one more time. Will you replay Breath of the Wild and or Tears of the Kingdom on Nintendo Switch 2 this year?
Yes. I don't know about this year, but yes. I will definitely be playing Tears of the Kingdom in August. I don't know about Breath of the Wild yet, but both yes.
I might do Tears of the Kingdom. And I don't think I'd 100% it. In fact, I wouldn't for sure. And when I say 100%, I mean like just all the shrines, not like legit 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd give it another go for sure. I think I do want to re-experience that game and just try and have a different experience with Tears of the Kingdom. Hopefully I'll finish it. I'm not going to make any promises, but hopefully. So and hey, I mean, why not, right? Like it's going to look amazing on. I'm going to buy a new 4K TV here, Al, for the Switch 2. I've decided.
Ooh, love that for you.
Yeah.
When did Tears come out? Was that
May of 2023, May the 12th.
May 12th. That's right. I don't know why I was thinking May 5th. But okay, so almost 2 years of. Is that 2 years? Has it been 2 years? Why does it feel like 3?
I don't know, because time is a trap. I don't know.
Time is so messed up right now. But anyways, yeah, happy almost 2 years to Tears of the Kingdom.
Yes. So I think yes, I think that we will replay Tears. So we're gonna have some obviously Wind Waker content pretty quickly here. But I think that we'll have some Tears content as well, and maybe some Breath of the Wild, and of course that definitive ranking of Adventure of Link, which the people are clamoring for, Al, and we got to give the people what they want. So,
I guess.
Would you be so like stoked if they were just like, here's a remake of Adventure of Link?
No, I don't think that game needs a remake. I think just because I don't like it doesn't mean a remake is going to help it in any way. I think it's actually good the way it is. I think it's actually classic the way it is. I just don't like it. Like,
I'm just a hater. All right, let's go to this one. Daily debate from Leslie Jacobson. Leslie's coming in with a few good ones here today. Which Zelda series amiibo is the best so far? I'm going to reinterpret this actually question here and just say like, what is your favorite Zelda amiibo?
As far as just like how it looks or usage or...
You tell me.
I want to say the one of Zelda holding the sword is probably the most beautiful. Followed by Zelda and the Loftwing.
Yeah.
I really like the Midna riding Wolf Link one.
Yep.
The Link with the arm is really solid, and so is the Ganondorf one. Like the last 3 that they came out with for the Zelda series are like spectacular. So it's like hard to beat.
We've come a long way from P-Stick Link from Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U.
It cracks me up that you say that.
Oh, I mean, Jesus, it's like this yellow, like, beam holding him up from his... Anyways, yes, I would say, I agree with you. I think the Loftwing and Zelda one is just, like, beautiful. I think Midna and Wolf Link looks, like, stunning. I think the Guardian, actually, is one that is just incredible.
That is, like, an exceptional amiibo.
Yeah. I do really like the Tears of the Kingdom Ganondorf amiibo. I mean, like, pretty much all... You're right. Like, pretty much all the amiibo now are, like, just rock solid because we've come a long way. I really love the Ocarina of Time, like, Ocarina Link. Like, I think that one looks great. I do... I will say this. I think one of my least favorite amiibos, actually, is the Twilight Princess and the Skyward Sword Link. Just doing, like, their pose. That one, I was just like,
I like the Skyward Sword one where he's kind of like crouched with the sword. That one's pretty cool. Although I probably would have preferred him like holding the sword up.
Yeah, right? Or
Yeah.
just like Groose or someone else, not
Bruce
Link.
would have been fun. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think like
because they came out with that series of like just all links from all the different games, and you
yeah,
were
it
just
was
like,
like
I'm over
6
it.
Links. Like, no more of this guy. Like,
Yeah.
I will say I think that the Tears of the Kingdom Link one is a little bit disappointing. I would have liked to see him in his like his wild getup, you know, like that one. I
Oh,
think
I
would have been
understand
cool.
what you're saying, but like
Not the
I
blue
love it.
tunic.
Yeah. No,
I
still
love
love
the
it.
pose. Like I think the pose is great. And seeing that statue at Nintendo New York was so cool. But
Yeah.
for that one, yeah, I think it would have been cooler if it was like his wild getup, you know?
I would love to see him in the Zonai armor.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be great. I wonder, you know what? I'm a little bit disappointed actually that for Age of Imprisonment we're not getting a Raru amiibo. I'd have been all over that. I think
How
Raru
do we
just
know
looks
we're not
so
getting a
cool.
Rauru amiibo?
Well, I mean, you're right, but they haven't announced it yet. I feel like they would have announced it at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
The Minoru amiibo looks like awesome though.
Oh, because it's the construct, but like
Yes.
I'm also thinking of Rauru and like how there's a lot of hair on that guy. I just imagine like trying to he's got like so that giant mane of hair.
Look
you
at
know, like,
Ganondorf.
yeah, but his is like straight and just red. You know, like it's like straight. His is like just this massive mane of hair. So I'm trying to think of like designing that and like all the plastic that has to go into that and all the cutting that has to go into that.
Come on.
You know what? That makes sense to me, not you. That's fine.
If you can make an amiibo with 4 flexible Dr. Octopus arms for the Guardian, you can
You're
make
right.
an
You're
amiibo
fair.
of
That's fair.
Raru's hair.
Yeah, and
Let-
I'm looking at Twilight Princess or not Twilight Princess, Tears of the Kingdom Ganondorf's hair. It's not that much, like not compared to Rauru.
Maybe it just seems like a lot. It seems like his flow was pretty on point in that game. Let's do one more.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry, I cut you off. What were you gonna say?
No, that's it. That's all I had to say.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. One more?
Yeah. No, I was just griping. It's fine.
All right, stop griping, Al. Jeez. Cut you off right now. All right, let's do one more, then we'll get out of here.
Yeah.
This is another one from Jared. This show is brought to you by Leslie and Jared today. Thank you, guys. Why do you think Teba was replaced with Tulin as the Sage of Wind in Tears of the Kingdom? Oh, I know the answer to this. I know the answer.
No,
Al.
because your answer is wrong.
Well, if it was wrong, he probably wouldn't have been replaced. Hold on. You know why? You know why? Because Teba is boring.
You're boring. You're so boring.
I'm sorry, but it's true.
He was such a solid warrior in Breath of the Wild and in Age of Calamity. I love him. I think he's great. My answer would have been like because he became the chief and like his son is like the new him. But at the same time, all the other sages become like chiefs in their own right of their own places. So it's like or kings or whatever. And so I'm just like I don't know why they replaced Teba with Tulin, and I don't think it's because Teba's boring. I keep getting their names mixed up, so I can't talk now.
It is.
Plus, I'm mad at you, so I'm all flustered and I can't speak. But I don't think he's boring.
Teba has 0 rizz. Okay, none.
What are you talking about? Are
None.
we playing the same games?
What is okay? What stands out to you about Tulin? Like what is the biggest difference between him and
kind of a
Rivali?
brat at the beginning, like.
What is the biggest difference between him and Rivali, like as characters?
What do you mean?
What makes Teba and Rivali like very distinct? So maybe I'll like extrapolate what I mean. So obviously the difference between Urbosa and Riju is like Urbosa is this very confident seasoned warrior, where Riju is a young up and coming trying to learn her craft. Yunobo is similar. He's very unconfident. He's trying to find his way. Versus Daruk, who again is this very well-established warrior. Sidon and Mipha are obviously completely different, like in terms of personalities. Whereas, like what really at the end of the day is the biggest difference between Teba and Rivali? Because it's not like Teba is a young up and comer. It's not like he's pretty similar to Rivali. But with less
I wouldn't
rizz.
say so at all. I think Rivali, he has like this giant chip on his shoulder. Somebody told him one day that he wasn't good enough, And so he's been spending his whole life trying to prove it. And then along comes Link, who's just good at everything, and it pisses him off. And he's just trying to prove that how good a warrior he is, even though he already is. Whereas Teba has already assured him himself. He's a little bit older than Rivali, I believe, because like there's the theory that Rivali's still young because he still has the little cheek flushes on him. Where Teba doesn't. He's a little bit older. He's a little bit more sure-footed, but his village is in danger, and he's scared, and he doesn't trust outsiders, and he has a totally different personality. I don't know what you're talking about.
And I'm not trying to say that they're like one for one. I'm just saying in terms of like the differences between the other champions and the differences between these guys, I don't think it's as much. I don't think Teba is like, I don't know, like I don't really think he has much of a character arc. He's just kind of a guy. He's already a pretty good warrior. He's the chief. Like, okay. I think like I'm team Tulin here. Like I think there's so much more that you could do with Tulin.
I love Tulin's growth, and I love that they gave him this opportunity to shine, and I think he does a really good job. And it's fine that they replaced Teba, but I don't think it's for all the reasons that you're saying, and I just think you're wrong.
Well, you're not the first person to tell me that. Not even today, actually.
Go to hell, Andy.
And you won't be the last. I'm sorry. Teba, he has no rizz. None. I'm sorry.
I don't know what you're talking about. I feel very rizzed by Teba.
Well, that's probably the perfect way. Look at this. We got our pal Dak coming in here with the raid of a couple people, and now we're ending the show. So there we go. But yeah, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Let me know. Like, maybe that's our next kind of the Beetle debate. Like, does Teba have rizz, or is he just kind of a little bit of a bland Betty? You know, let us know, I guess, because I'm team bland here. I have to say.
I totally disagree with you.
Well, that is your prerogative, but it doesn't make me wrong as usual, Al.
It does. What do you think about that? I gave you all these reasons why you're wrong, and you're just like, oh, it's fine. I don't care.
You know what? The proof is in the pudding. Let's go back to our first daily debate. Do you remember when we were asking like, is the Triforce quest really that bad? And you were like, well, they replaced it, so yes.
This is two totally different things.
Oh, okay.
Because the Wind Waker fetch quest in the original was just like so horrendous. I wouldn't even if you think that Teba is bland, he's not horrendous. You would say that him trying to save his village and like getting himself hurt and all that kind of stuff is horrendous.
No, but I'm just saying it's not anything unique or anything special that the other 4 sages or the other 3 sages aren't doing. I'm just throwing it out there, Al.
What makes them all special is because they're all willing to do that.
Well, Teba isn't in Tears of the Kingdom. He just plonks his butt down.
Maybe he's just older than we think he is. Because
he might be.
He's older, and they just needed some young fluff at Tulin to go in there.
Maybe. Yeah, you could be very right. And I'm glad that they did, because I wouldn't have been particularly excited about playing with Teba, if I'm being honest. I wasn't particularly excited about playing as him in Age of Calamity either. Again,
he was fantastic in Age of Calamity.
Well, hold on.
So OP.
Hold on. He was a fine character to play as, but even in terms of moveset, you cannot disagree with me that like of all the other champions there, like Yunobo and Daruk's movesets were completely different.
So were Teba and Rivali's.
They were different, but not. They were the most similar, I would say, of all of them.
Oh my god. Okay.
Your face is red, Al. Are you okay?
No. Just want to stab you sometimes.
Well, on that note, that sounds like the perfect time to end this podcast before we need an escalation here.
Oh my god.
Hey, don't hate me for speaking the truth here, Al. I'm sorry. Okay. I want to remind everybody again. If you have not played, which is probably literally almost everybody listening to this podcast, but if you have not played Metroid Prime Hunters in a long time, or maybe ever, and you want to play it online, go to OmegaMetroid.com. We're going to tell you how. We're going to tell you how to set up the controller setup that you want. We're going to give you strategies. We're going to hold your hand. We're going to walk you through this game, and maybe we'll even play together. Do some community nights over on Omega Metroid. Maybe we could even get Allison over there. I don't know. She could take out some of that frustration All I have to say is Teba has no rizz, and she's probably gonna headshot me like 8 times in a row. So that'll be a lot of fun. So make sure you do that. By the way, I'm thinking too. Like we definitely got to do like a Zelda Cast Mario Kart night in the next over the summer, right? I think we got
that'd be fun with Mario Kart, the new one.
I think so. Yeah, that's got to happen.
Yeah.
I'll play as famed Mario character the cow, or maybe Goomba.
I love it.
I think maybe Bullet Bill is another character in there that we could choose from.
Bullet Bill a character? Oh my god, I haven't been paying attention. I didn't even watch the Mario Kart Direct.
If you just pick any random Mario Kart enemy, it's probably a playable character in Mario Kart World. So there you go. All right, well, we are going to get out of here, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And if you missed it live and you're listening on podcast form, come and watch us, twitch.tv/the Zelda Cast. We had like a 20-minute discussion about Star Wars for May the 4th day today. So come and hang out with us, because we usually talk about something before we actually get going here. The podcast's taken an outrageously long time, actually, from start to finish. So come and hang out with us. But yes, also make sure, of course, that you are subscribing wherever you get your podcast. Go like, rate, recommend, review. Tell that Zelda fan in your life. Every Monday, new episode of the Zelda Cast drop in there. So let them know. And of course, if you do want to take your Zelda Cast love to the next level, patreon.com/spnet. That's going to get you monthly bonus shows. We're actually we're thinking of some new cool things doing over on Patreon. So we might have like a new show format here pretty quickly. So that'll be pretty sweet as well. So stay tuned for that. And of course, give us a follow over on Blue Sky. I'm at Spateri316. Al is at Allison Aletha, and we are at the Zelda Cast. That, my friends, is going to do it for us. So until next week, everybody, take care.
Bye.
Hey everyone! If you enjoyed this clip and want to see more of the Zelda Cast, make sure to head over to your favorite podcast platform of choice and subscribe. There are over 200 episodes in the vault that will provide you with hundreds of hours of Zelda content for you to enjoy. You can listen to us when you're on a walk, fighting Ganon, trying to sleep, whatever. And if you want to see these shows as they happen, make sure to head over to twitch.tv/the Zelda Cast, where you can watch our beautiful faces talk about Zelda every single week. Don't miss out, and we'll see you next time.